Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to Modena in Italy and the home of Pagani. Now I've been invited here today by Pagani to have a look around their factory, look around this beautiful museum, and also have my first hypercar experience in a Huayra Roadster. So I've been planning this trip for quite some time. I actually bumped into someone from Pagani at Festival of Speed last year and had a conversation about coming here to the production facility to see how their beautiful cars are made and perhaps even getting behind the wheel of one to experience it for myself. A couple of things have happened though which have challenged today in a big way, and the number one problem is the weather today is absolutely terrible. It's chucking it down with rain. And that meant that when we went to have a test drive in the Huayra Roadster, because I'm sure that's the bit that you want to see first off, it just meant that they weren't happy for me to drive the car. It's a very, very powerful car. It's very wet, very greasy. So I went out with their test driver and had an amazing time. Unfortunately, the other thing that clobbered us was timings of me getting here. We had to go out in the car very, very quickly. So normally I would film around the car and kind of talk to you about it and kind of tell you about the specification and let you see inside of it and so on. But we literally had to, I got here, I set some cameras up and we went for a drive. And it was amazing, but the car came back incredibly dirty, so it couldn't come back inside the facility, and it's still chucking it down with rain outside. So I can't actually film with it outside, although I might go and try and grab some B-roll in a moment. But it's an absolutely sensational car. We're talking, mid 700 horsepower. We're talking over 1,000 Newton meters of torque, about 1,150 kilograms, full carbon fiber construction, and a soundtrack to die for. So let's jump inside the Huayra. Let's go for a drive with their chief test driver. And then what we'll do after that is I'll show around some of the incredible cars behind me. And the car that's rotating behind me is perhaps one of the most important Paganis ever. It's called La Nonna. It's actually Zonda chassis number 2. And it's kind of evolved and grown and had various bits. It's a kind of bit of a Frankenstein car really, but it is a very, very important car to Pagani. So after we've gone for our little test drive around the street roads of Modena in the pouring rain in an incredibly powerful hypercar, I'll tell you about some of the cars behind me. But what happened next blew my mind. Guys, welcome to the channel. Simone, my professional driver.
Hi.
Now, good news and bad news. The good news is I'm in a Pagani for the first time ever. The bad news is it's raining, and that means I'm not going to be allowed to drive it. But you are the man. So I'm so excited to experience this car. I've seen them at shows and at Goodwood, and
Yeah.
they're always so beautiful to look at, but to experience them, to hear the engine and to feel the power is going to be very cool, I'm sure. Oh yeah, some traction issues straight away.
Yeah. Bad grip today.
Bad grip. Now the other thing as well, COVID restrictions in Italy are different to the UK, and we're still required to wear masks before anybody goes in the comments. So this car, 820 horsepower, something like that?
764.
764 and over 1,000 Newton meters.
Yeah.
That's, I would imagine that's your problem today, the torque.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because at 2,500 RPM you have all torque.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you been working for Pagani?
20 years.
20 years. Wow.
I started drive Pagani when I was 25.
Wow. So do you do the development of the cars,
Yeah,
road and
even
track?
too. Yesterday I was at Misano circuit to develop a new car.
Yeah. Oh, you
And,
can feel
yeah.
it, can't you?
Usually I test all the car before the delivery, the customer car before the delivery.
Wow. If you're testing every car before it gets delivered,
Yeah.
you must be one of the few people in the world that's probably driven every Pagani in existence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's so cool. Now the window's cracked. You can just hear the whistles
Yeah.
of the turbos and the induction noise.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh. Wow. Oh boy. Yeah, I can see why you're driving now, not me. Yeah, I think from the...
Now we try to warm up a little bit the tire because they are cold and
Yeah.
to grow up the grip. You know?
Yeah. Oh boy. I've never heard a car like that before. Oh wow. Wow, man. Wow. There's supercar fast, and then hypercar fast, and they're in a different. It's a different sport
Yeah.
altogether.
The car has a lot of torque, but when the grip is okay,
Yeah.
you have a good traction
Yeah,
because we worked on it a lot.
yeah. A lot. Yeah. So
Because-
what drive modes have you got to select?
Now we are comfort. You have sport and race.
Yeah.
Race for the track. You can use even on the road, but today comfort is better.
Yeah. I guess does that just adjust the throttle mapping a little bit and,
Yeah.
and the delivery? The ride quality over that road is amazing
Yeah,
because there's an awful bit of tarmac, but it's really good.
yeah,
I thought it would be really hard and crashy.
Yeah.
Because this
You know, the setting the car for the road is very special, you know, because you can met the road damping, the hole, so the suspension have to copy the road, you know, very well. If not, you lose control.
Yeah. No, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
I thought it would feel very stiff and not very compliant, but it doesn't at all. It's amazing.
%20 of pedal.
Really?
Yeah.
At the limit, what are its characteristics when it's at the limit? Is it quite progressive or snappy or
On what?
yeah? Well, when it starts to get to the edge of its envelope and you start to kind of lose it, does it go gently or does it go quickly?
Gently,
Or
gently. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. As a driver, to think, where do you go from here? How do you better this?
Now, as you can see, that was quite some experience. The amount of torque that car puts down, in these conditions, you could just feel the back of the car scrabbling for grip. It really was an amazing experience. And I think I said in the film, I've been very lucky. I've driven a lot of supercars, but the step between driving a supercar and driving a hypercar is night and day. They really are absolutely incredible. So an amazing experience, and hopefully I'll return again on a dry day and get behind the wheel myself. But let me just take you through a few of the cars that are in here. And I started with this car spinning round behind me, La Nonna. And amazingly, this car is now over 20 years old. And I was talking to Sebastian from Pagani, who for the last couple of hours has been showing me around not just the museum, but the production facility as well. Sadly, I couldn't take my cameras in there. But we were talking about this car, and honestly, for me, if Pagani released this car today, it would look new and fresh and space age. what was it like 20 years ago? It's just an unbelievable thing. And I know this car has gone through a number of iterations. It's actually got various bits. It's got the kind of snorkel and side vents off of Le Cinque, and it's got a front end that's slightly different to the original Zonda, but even so, a very, very special car. So let's wander down that way and go through a few of the evolutions of Zonda, and then we'll end up with the Huayra that we've just experienced. So the year 2000, Zonda S, chassis number 18. When you look around these just beautiful, beautiful cars, a lot of the cars in the museum here are actually customer cars that they are, if you like, lending Horatio and the team to put on display. But these for me, they just look so beautiful. It's the small details on any Pagani, and I think they've developed and matured as the brand has grown and the cars have evolved in terms of their design language. We then come on to the Zonda Roadster 2004 car. What I also love is the very low numbers that they make these cars in, but because this is a open top, I can kind of just drop the camera over there and we can have a look inside, and you've got all of the elements that for me just make a Pagani. It's the attention to detail. One of the things I've just seen in the production facility is how they make and lay the carbon fiber components of the car, and then they put them in their autoclave. Absolutely stunning thing. We then come over to the Zonda F. Something I learned today, which I didn't know, was actually the original name that Horatio Pagani wanted to give the Zonda was in memory of Fangio, Juan Manuel Fangio, one of his kind of mentors and big heroes. He didn't do that in the end. He called it the Zonda after a wind in his native Argentina. But the Zonda F, the F is in memory of Fangio. But we can now, for me, start to sort of see just really cool things. These mirrors on the wings, the way they're mounted, you can see the carbon fiber weave. Absolutely stunning. But this lineup of cars gets even more bonkers now. 2010, the Zonda Cinque Roadster. Cinque, because there were only 5 of them. The level of carbon fiber work on this car is, I'm going to use the term, people, next level. I don't know if you can see all the weave patterns. That snorkel is absolutely outrageous on a Roadster to have that. And then inside, we're now offering the gearbox with a with an auto change rather than the manual in the original cars. And then finally, I guess the ultimate evolution of the Zonda 2010 chassis number 7, the Zonda R. Now, the guys here have been very thoughtful and taken the back of the car off so you can have a really good look at the unbelievable engineering. I mean, the other thing, the kind of tail mark or trademark 4 exhaust exits inspired by a speaker that Horatio Pagani had. And we now see that on the back of all cars. But look at the exhaust work, the chassis components bolted to the gearbox. V12 engine in the back from AMG. Absolutely incredible thing. Stick the camera through the window in there and you can see inside. So cool. So cool. And then the last car on display here is the Huayra that we've just experienced, although this is a coupe and we were out in a Roadster. I remember seeing one of these for the first time. It was at Goodwood Festival of Speed, surprise, surprise. But when you look inside one of these, the craftsmanship, the machining of the instrument binnacle, the open linkage to the gear selector, the leather work, the carbon fiber work, I just think it's absolutely stunning. And one of the things that's really struck me today is when you look at these cars and the numbers that are thrown around, we always talk about horsepower and torque and 0 to 60 time, and then ultimately it gets round to price or worth. And we're talking about cars that are, you know, 2.5, 3 million euros. And you think that's just an immense amount of money for a car, and obviously it is. However, when you come and see how they're made, and when you walk around this museum and you see the inspiration and the innovation that's gone on to actually get these cars designed and then put into manufacturing. It is truly unbelievable. The level of craftsmanship it's called a factory. It's not really a factory. It's kind of an artisan crafts workshop. It's a stunning place, and you see the amount of skill that the men and women that build these cars here have, from the people laying down the carbon fiber to the people working on the leather work, the engineers that are installing the engine and adding all of the chassis components on. It's incredible, and the amount of time that goes into making one of these, and suddenly that £2 or £3 million kind of starts to make sense. And having experienced one, having been in the passenger seat, utterly mind-blowing. I thought I'd been in some fast cars, but you take that and then you just turn it up another 6 or 7 notches. It really is unbelievable. So I have to say a massive thank you to Pagani for inviting me out to Italy to come and experience their incredible facility here and experience the Huayra. Such a shame the weather didn't play on my side this week. I'm absolutely gutted, I must say, but I'll be back and I will get that hypercar itch scratched, I promise. But anyway, for now, I hope you enjoyed that one. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film. I'm going to go back to my hotel, eat some wonderful Italian food, maybe a nice glass of red wine, and dream about that hypercar drive one day. See you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe.